We are back here outside of Lacanosa Town, and let's talk to this sign. Route 13. Let's head into this little area we opened up, and let's hop off our bicycle, because we are now in the Giant Chasm. I don't think there's any... Yeah, there's no items out here, but I recommend you walk over here, because there's this little foreboding darkness shrouded in the fog. They warned us there was a monster in a crater near Lacanosa Town. I think it's time we head in there and see what this monster's all about. But not before new bios! You can find the Piloswine family. They evolve into the mighty Mamoswine by leveling up with the move Ancient Power. This is bar none the best physical ice type you're going to be finding. This thing is a monster. I don't even think I need to begin because it gets Earthquake, it gets Avalanche, it gets all the good moves. It's actually got decent speed. If you want an ice type to viciously tear through Pokemon, this is what you want. It's better than Beartic, I would definitely say, but it's still pretty good. Beartic's still pretty good, and this thing's kind of just Beartic with Earthquake Stab, and maybe a little better bulk. Up next, we have Jinx. This is a pretty laughable Ice-type Glass Cannon, which kind of makes sense. However, it does hold in a Spare Berry 100% of the time, so if you're having trouble with the Freeze status, though I don't know really why you would, because there's no moves that perfectly cause Freeze, it can hold the Spare Berry. Got decent speed, it can do decent special Ice-type damage with the move Ice Beam, which I don't actually know when we're getting access to, but... Next is Delibird. This thing's a joke. Seriously, its best move is Present. And that's a move that can sometimes heal your opponent while doing laughable damage even if it deals damage. Weavile evolves with the Razor Claw during nighttime. Might be thinking, oh, it looks like a pretty decent Glass Cannon physical ice type, a bit like a better Mamoswine for Glass Cannon. You'd be wrong. Its best physical ice moves, Avalanche, Ice Punch, and Ice Shard, are all locked into egg moves. So if you want a physical ice type, your only option is pretty much go with Mamoswine. By surfing, you have access to Dugong, or in my opinion, worse Lapras. Really doesn't distinguish itself from Lapras, it's pretty much got a similar stat distribution, just lower everything else aside from special defense, which are the same, but lower HP. Not that great, but it's something. Alright, let's go through this cave and see where we got. There are a couple of hidden items inside this cave area right here, so I would recommend going around the entire area. This is also why I recommend you bring Strength, because you do need it to get access to this sort of central chamber. The surf spot is right over there to go get your Dugong. And, Eyesore, making yourself useful. Let's bring out our... No, let's not get rid of the amazing atmospheric music. I love the music in here. Let's look for those hidden items. I know there's a couple around here. Oh, wrong way. There's also a Comet Shard and a couple of... Comet Shard and a couple... Star Pieces, that's what they're called. Sorry, I blanked on the name right there. They're selling fodder items. They just exist to be sold. There's also an item over here. Ooh, Pokemon. Yep, it's an Excadrill. Yeah, this hasn't changed. Excadrill is basically the only thing you're going to be finding in caves from now on, which I don't mind, because it's always good experience fodder. But we don't really need to keep fighting them, because we're already pretty massive over-leveled as is, or so we might think. Let's get this item. I think this is the Comet. This is the Star Piece. Okay, not the Comet Shard. Alright, so where's the Comet Shard, then? I think it's somewhere up ahead. We're off. Of course. Use that repel. I repel the repel. Yeah, we haven't actually been seeing any blips on the down. Oh, I was just saying we haven't seen any blips on the radar, but nope, there it is. There's a tiny mushroom. So again, this place pretty much is just full of self-fodder items. Not exactly a bad thing, but considering we're kind of again deep into the game, and what I just said about the pearls on the earlier route, you kind of need them tiny mushroom. See what I mean? It's kind of pointless to go through all of them because we know what they're going to do. We know what they're going to be sold for, and There's the Comet Shards. Comet Shards, however, can only be bought by the item Maniac, so that is a bit of a difference between them. Down here, there is the Surf spot. So, oh, it's a sort of a ball return. You're supposed to be able to come this way if you use Surf. Okay, that's clever. I like that. There's nothing on that spot right over there. Also, you can surf. No. No, maybe it's the thing I want. Nope, it's not the thing I want. That's the thing I don't want. Excadrill, I do enjoy you, but I really don't like having to battle you. Mostly because you're just kind of wasting time. I do wish that the repels locked out the phenomena encounters, but I kind of get why they don't do that. Also, I think you might... Do you need surf to get there? Oh, no, you don't. Okay, it's just a quick way to get there. Puzzle effect wore off. So, let's step forward into the central area of the Giant Chasm. Here, you can find 3 new Pokemon. Clefable is the first of these. It's a tanky normal type like we've seen. However, it is a bit worse in my opinion than the likes of the mighty Audino. Though it can hold Leppa berries, so that is a bit of a useful thing for it. But next, Ditto! This Pokemon that every Pokemon fan will smirk when they hear the name of. It's not bad, just it always relies on dealing damage by transforming into the opposing Pokemon. And final encounter here, the mighty Metagross. You can find Wild Metang, however, you can also find Wild Metagross. This thing is an all-around powerhouse. Fantastic physical attack, fantastic defense. Competent special attack, so we can actually make use of that psychic typing it's got for special damage. Good special defense, and not horrible speed, considering it also gets access to agility. This is a Pokemon that I can say you can definitely add to your team and have it be a complete face-punching monster. Because it is. Also got the Steel type. This is also before Steel lost its resistance to Dark and Ghost, so Metagross only has 2 weaknesses. And again, already being level 66 if you get one in the Dark Grass. Yeah, really, really good. Though, before we progress, I would recommend you go back and get out your good Pokemon. You actually don't need HMs going forward, so I will meet you guys back here with my full team. This is also where the highest level Audino can be found. So if you want to be experienced training on Pokemon and for some reason you're not doing the battles in Big Stadium and Small Court, or battling against Charon, which we haven't gone over yet, or the Royal Unova, this is your best place to go training. And also, there's an item over there. This place is a bit of a maze, and I will be being truthful. When I first came here, I actually somewhat remember my first time coming to the Giant Chasm. I don't remember much of my first playthrough of Unova, but I remember enough that when I got to this point, I actually even kind of remember where I was, because it was the first time I went there. It was, well, the first time for me going there in real life, as well as my first time coming to the... I hopped down the wrong ledge. My first time going to somewhere in real life, and my first time coming to this location, the Giant Chasm, in the game. So I remember decently well what I was thinking, just because it did leave a bit of an impression on me. And that was just the confusion of this place. This place is giant. And yes, its name makes sense. However, there's also a lot of items just littered throughout the place, so I recommend you have your dowsing machine out, because there are some hidden items. However, there's also just a lot of non-hidden items. There is... Okay, we will find TM Psyshock. Okay, there's one of the 2 TMs I wanted to go get. There is another thing I want to go get, which I know I missed because we went past it in that double battle grass. So let's go and grab that, because there's 2 TMs in here, one of which is Psyshock. That is a decently strong move, but again, I don't get why they locked that into post-game when they also locked Psychic into post-game, and the moves are very similar. TM13 Ice Beam. That's the thing I missed, and that is a wonderful move. Might be noticing there's this little offshoot area here, which we can't get into. There is no way in at all. So look, there's There's no way in. Can't go in over here, can't go in over there. So I guess we'll just have to keep following around this place. Maybe there's something that lets us in. Let's keep moving. Bring the dowsing back on. There's nothing there. Over here, and there we go. This way, over here. I believe you have to jump down this little courtyard. There's nothing in here. Or at least nothing it seems in here. Because if you go... Yep. There we go. Go in here. The Giant Chasm freezes over. Music also changes. There's no music. Just the cold sounds of the wind blowing. I believe you can leave and come back. Actually, can you actually not leave? Oh. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so you do have everything freeze over, but you can still leave and come back if you want to make any final preparations. And it stays. As you can see, there is nothing. Let's head in. Standing before us is the final dragon of the Unova region. Recommend, of course, as always, you save before any Pokemon encounter with a legendary Pokemon. Also, there is places to surf here in the Giant Chasm. However, I don't believe there's anything that is of note in this back area. Actually, I want to go... Actually... Yeah, there's nothing back here. There's no items back here. It's just a little nice area. So, let us confront the final dragon. Kyurem. This is the monster referred to in the story of the old woman in Lacunosa Town. It is level 75. Pressure for the ability. Glaciate, Dragon Pulse, Imprison, and Endeavor. This thing is a fantastic offensive Pokemon. Glaciate is its signature move. It is a 65 base power attack, 95% accurate move. Special Ice type, it will always cut the opponent's speed when it connects. This also means it is the weakest of all signature moves. However, it hits all Pokemon in a double battle and all Pokemon in a triple battle that are in range. It also always cuts speed. Well, crap. And we are back, but Kyurem, again, back to it. It is a fantastic actor. Even though Glaciate might not seem the best, it is decently fast, and cutting speed can, of course, help allies. It does also hit decently hard, so it's not like that low power will be that terrible. There's a lot of Pokemon that have done a lot better with a lot less. We've already seen how good the move Icy Wind can actually be, and this is basically just a souped-up version of the move Icy Wind. It also has a decent bit of HP, as you can tell. Come on! What the heck? Okay, Darunia, you're not in the lead anymore. You are not. Okay, let's hope third time is actually the charm. Kyurem, as we've already been over, is a very impressive and very powerful dragon-type legendary with also the ice subtyping. I'm not going to go over its moves and stats again because you've already seen them. 130 in both offenses. I think it can hit pretty hard, though you're probably just going to be using special attacks on it, like that Ice Beam TM we just got after you teach it to it. I'm hoping we can paralyze it with Thunderbolt just to make you a little easier to catch because you are a legendary. I'll also give you a bit of a chance to listen to its amazing theme. Or rather, I would if it weren't for the fact that the stupid low health music exists. I really don't like this low health music. It's so annoying. Of course, go for Glaciate. Though, I want to mention one thing about its music. Its music is a slightly altered version of Zekrom and Reshiram's battle theme. Both Zekrom and Reshiram have two sort of effects in there. There's like lightning effects, and there's also like crackling fire effects in Reshiram's, and Zekrom's electric one. In Kyurem's, there's no freezing sound, but the bass is a bit more pronounced at certain points. Right there actually is just where it was, so that was actually really good timing on my part. But you gotta say, for as being a powerful ice-type dragon legendary as this thing is, you know what it reminds me of? A deformed T-Rex. Like, a weird, deformed T-Rex is just what Kyurem kind of reminds me of. And you go for Endeavor. And come on, double missed for Hail. And of course, he goes for a Dragon Pulse, and it KOs me. Yeah, of course. I like you, Kyurem, but seriously, why can't you just be easy to catch? I mean, Zekrom was easy to catch, and... Alright, let's just go for Druni again. Let's hopefully we don't get another kill, because I don't want to be doing a fourth encounter of you. Let's go for... Let's go for Fire Punch, just it won't KO. I love the animation for it in the fun of just I love that. Why? Okay, fight for we are go. Haran. Alright, let's see if we can actually do it this time. We're just probably gonna skip for it. Thankfully we can't burn you, so that's not bad, but let's just go for Fire Punch again. 4 times. I freaking swear Drew has some sort of vendetta against Kyurem. Sure, okay, imprison me. I don't have any moves in common with you. Alright, let's see. Can we get another crit? No, we did not. Good. And here's the Dragon Pulse. We're probably going to lose to this. Or not. Though I suppose because we don't get to hear the amazing Kyurem theme, that is a bit of a loss. I like the music. It's a good song. I just... Again, I wish the HP music didn't exist. I am so glad that they actually changed this. This is kind of what I mean when I defended them making Zekrom and Reshiram's catch rate as high as it is. Because this was just excessive. And actually that was perfectly timed with me actually catching the freaking thing. But just... I don't know how long we're actually here doing for, but... Kyurem, the boundary Pokemon. It can produce Ultra Cold Air. Its body is frozen. It's a bit lame of a description, but I guess for a demented, deformed T-Rex weird chicken thing, I guess it makes sense. We are not going to be giving a name to Kyurem. And with that, Giant Chasm is now at peace. Kyurem was... So you trying to take Kyurem's place now that he's gone? But now that we have captured Kyurem and we have gone through the entirety of the Giant Chasm, I think that we can now talk about what exactly Kyurem is. As you know, there was originally one dragon, as Iris and Drayden have informed us. And then the grandma in Lacanosa Town informed us that there was a meteor impact, and from that, a giant monster came forth, and that giant monster brought forth a cold wind that would eat people and Pokemon. That giant monster is both Kyurem and the remains of the original dragon. When Zekrom and Reshiram split, Kyurem was pretty much the original body, and now its sort of twisted and deformed appearance is because it's an empty husk of what it originally was. There's no reference really to the meteor impact that supposedly created the Giant Chasm, because at that time, the conflict with the brothers was ongoing. Pretty much attention was focused on that, and people were documenting that. So the meteor impact happened at that time. And I've heard people say that, well, the brothers found the giant monster that was in here, and that was the original dragon. That doesn't really sound like the original dragon, because at the same time that we have this story of the giant monster with the cold wind that is at Lakanosa Town, there's no reference to either of the brothers or Zekrom or Reshiram. It's only this cold wind, which corresponds to Kyrem. So Kyrem was in the Giant Chasm, a twisted and broken form of what it once was, for how many years before it was finally captured. And people say Pokemon is a game for kids when there's stuff like that. I gotta say, I didn't know this at first, and the similarities in their music and name does make a lot of sense when you consider that. You know, Zekrom, Reshiram, Kyrem. Or Kirem. I've heard people pronounce Kirem's name Kyrem, Kirem, Kirem. I've heard all different pronunciations, but I've just always called it Kyrem. Because there's a Gazella monster called Kiru, and it has a freeze weapon, so I always call that for the same reason. But we have captured the mighty Kyrem. It was no hard feat. It was really just a waiting game, and also having Darunia not decide to kill it with its massive biceps of exploding awesomeness. But now that we have done that, we have hopefully freed Lakanosa Town, so they can be at peace now that the giant monster will no longer eat them. And I did not mean to run into you.